Hey Yarnies, how's everybody doing? I am taking advantage of a surprise snow day by recording episode number 5 and hoping to get that posted later today. I hope you guys can like and comment and follow along. Hopefully, you're getting some enjoyment out of me chatting about my projects and my crafting and things like that, sharing them with you all. So, the first whip that I want to share with you guys is the Berroco Cable Craze Blanket. I started March's block yesterday. The pattern dropped on March 10th, but I had another project I wanted to finish, and I'll share that later on in finished objects. This is a very tiny start. I have done 3 rows so far, and this is Berroco Vintage, and it is called Sapphire. And I figured this kind of denim blue would be really pretty with the dark navy from January and the smoke gray from February. So those are the 3 colors that are going to be in my Berroco blanket. So I'll be working on this fairly exclusively until it's finished, and I will share that with you on the next episode for what it looks like. I'm going to set this to the side. I am using, let's see, my notes say Shawl size 7, 4.5 millimeter. And like I said, I started this yesterday. Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day. I have a shirt that I'm going to wear tomorrow with the students, and I usually say my eyes are green, and that covers me. I hope you guys are having a happy St. Patrick's Day. I had time to put some stitches in on Halloween sampler, getting the needle, tapestry needle out of the way. I have added the letter X, which is about 77 stitches. There we go. So we're on to the next word. It was nice to pull this out and just kind of do a different kind of meditative craft of, stick the needle in, pull it, stick the needle through, pull it, and then counting on where your next stitches go. So that is Halloween Sampler. Having an Instagram account, also called Sassy Fiber Arts, has been really helpful. I have had that account for the last 8 years, and it came in so handy because I was able to scroll back through and realized that I started the Halloween sampler on Halloween of 2020. Time to get that done. So I will be continuing to work on that and continuing to share those with you guys. Those are my only whips right now. As far as like what I'm working on, I have plenty of other whips, but they're just kind of set to the side, and I'll get to them eventually. So finished objects. This is the February Berroco Cable Craze block. And I really like this stitch pattern. I don't know. It's interesting. It kind of, this middle column reminds me of hearts, and then I like the twisted stitch right beside it. And I'm excited to start to see this blanket come together and start to play around with how do I want the colors, what orientation do I want the cables to go. Some people may be doing their cables straight up and down. Some people may turn them sideways. So I'm just going to play around with that. Color-wise, I am envisioning it being kind of like a staircase. So if I start with navy blue and then I have smoke and then I have sapphire, on the next row, I want to start with the smoke and then the sapphire and then end with navy blue and alternate them that way so that when they're all put together, it's a diagonal look of the colors. But we'll see. I have not decided if I'm going to seam the blocks in quarters, so 3 at a time, or if I'm going to wait and do 6 at a time to kind of play around with some of the color placement and the cable placement, or if I want to wait until I have all 12 and then I can really play around. Yes, Mac, the door is open for you. So I can really play around with the placement and the color. So there's still time to decide. The other finished object that I wanted to share with you guys, Mac, is the snow cone shawl. I got it done. So I added this Folsom, there we go, border and it's got 20 colors in it. And I really like how color number 20 has got some pops of gray in it, and I felt like that really pulled in the gray of the Folsom. I'm going to turn it sideways. I don't know if you guys can see a lot of the color progression or not. And then it goes down to that. So it's an asymmetrical shawl. So it started here, and then every other row we added one stitch. I really liked this project. I felt that it was a good mixture of I need to concentrate and a almost meditative knitting as well. I really like how it alternates between this kind of like textury look and these eyelet looks. And then also the deep gray part alternated as well with more of this kind of like waffle cone look to this. So it was a lot of fun to work with. I really, really enjoyed playing around with the colors and figuring out what order I wanted to do the colors in. It's so simple to wear. Just, throw it over your shoulder. It goes with the shirt I've got on. So the snow cone shawl, the color portions is Emma's yarn, and it is Smalliday sock is the base. And this was from an advent that I got in 2022. So I held on to the advent for a while, and then like this pattern spoke to me on this is, what it was meant to be. And then the dark gray is Folsom, and it is USA sock, and it is from LoloDidIt, who's my favorite yarn dyer. USA sock is not as available anymore. So she's working on getting another yarn base. L'Original is one that's really, really close to her USA sock yarn base. So it would be a good substitute. I love Lauren's yarns. Like, she's such a color wizard. Can't recommend her highly enough. So the snow cone shawl, let's see. I started it on December 7th, 2024. And then I worked on it a good long while. And then I put it to the side and didn't really pull it back out until, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago. And then I've been slowly working on it, until yesterday when I finished it on March 16th, 2026. Now, I still need to block this. So I need to give it a little bath and kind of stretch it a little bit. It'll help open up the eyelets. It'll help loosen up some of the stitches. It'll help this part to hopefully lay flat and not curl. Another design feature that I really liked with this pattern, which is by Casapinka, is both edges did an I-cord edging, and it looks uniform on both sides. I really liked this pattern. I will definitely be looking to do more Casapinka patterns because it was easy to follow. It was the repetition was nice, and like I said, it was the good mixture of I need to concentrate and I can have an audiobook playing or watch TV or have a conversation while I continue, just kind of a more meditative, easier section for me. One of the most funs I had with this shawl was choosing the color order, because this is not the color order that the advent was released in each day in December of 2022. So I got all 24 mini skeins out and I laid them out on a flat surface and just kind of started moving them around to how I felt like they should go. I pulled several out that I didn't think went as well. There was one that was like a bright orange, and to me these are more in the pastel range. Maybe there's some brightness here, but to me this was more coral than orange. It was a lot of like that orange, which I didn't think went with the overall vibe of what I wanted or aesthetic or whatever for this shawl. So I would lay them out, and then I took a picture in black and white, and that helped me determine, is there enough contrast in these colors? If I put some of these colors with the Folsom, is it going to blend too much? Because I still wanted some contrast available in these colors. So that was a lot of fun to be able to play with those colors and to be able to really make this shawl a representation of me. So it was a lot of fun. I have several other advents that are waiting for their pattern, and when I see it, I'll know it'll speak to me, and I'll get to have fun playing in colors again. So those are my two finished objects from the last time we spoke on February 28th to now. And those are two objects that I actually finished in that time frame instead of bringing in an older finished object and sharing that with you all, which I can continue to where you guys can see the different things that I've knit. So then I got to looking at my goals that I wrote down from episode 4 to now episode 5. I finished the February block. I had originally written to get through color 19 of this shawl, but I exceeded that goal because I finished the shawl. So that was exciting. On Halloween sampler, I wanted to get one more full word. I got the X. I got started. So I still need to do the dash and RAY to finish that word. So maybe I can do that before April's first episode, maybe. So that would be episode 7. I don't know. We'll see. And then I was curious to know. Oh, wait. I also started on the March Berroco Cable Craze, and I want to get that done before the end of March so that I'm still continuing to get those finished within the month that pattern is released. I think that's really helping me to stay on track and on top of a year-long project. Okay, so I also pulled out my yarn bingo for 2026, and I can check mark a few things. So I finished February's Berroco Cable Craze Blanket. Got that checked. I also have on here to finish the Snow Cone Shawl. So I'll need to color that in. So that'll be another block that's colored in. But I can go ahead and write down the date that I finished it, which was 3/16/26. Okay, so one of my blocks on here is an inspiration freebie. I like to give myself a little bit of wiggle room on that because you never know when inspiration will hit. You never know what patterns designers are putting out or yarn colors that dyers are putting out, and so I wanted to give myself some room for that inspiration. So the inspiration has hit. The yarn came first, but I'm going to show you the pattern that I had picked out. I'm going to do Stephen West's Eyelet Burst Shawl. I'm not going to do it as a fade. This is I think a 4-color fade. Nope. I'm just going to do one color. And I am making this sort of as a secret. I'm sure this person will figure it out. It's not like I'm going to not talk about it, but if they think about it, they'll figure out it's them. But at any rate, this is what I'm going to cast on like really soon. Here it is in yellow. And I just really like the line of eyelets that kind of go towards the center of it. And I think it'll be a nice meditative knit that can help me like with calming and breathing and regulating the nervous system. Oh, there goes Mac. And just, what I look for in a meditative knit. So that's exciting. Okay, the yarn. I have found a new yarn dyer. I know I didn't need a new yarn dyer, but here we are. So this is, make sure my tag is facing the same way. This is called a woolly mammoth because it is 1 pound of yarn, fingering weight yarn. And it is from Wild Dyes Studio. She is on TikTok and she's wonderful. This is called Moss and Mulberry. It is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And this is 1,930 yards. So this is what I'm going to use for the Eyelet Burst shawl. I just really like the burgundies with this deep green and then this play of like grayish navy. I don't know. I think it'll look really interesting in that pattern. I've had this yarn for a couple months now, just waiting for the right pattern, and I really had to or the right person or the right reason to start with this yarn. So I researched and looked some shawls on Ravelry, and this is the one that just kind of jumped out at me, and I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be really pretty. So I will keep you guys updated on that for the next episode. So what are you guys working on? Are you working on cross stitch? Are you working on a quilt piece? Are you working on knitting, felting, needle felting? I don't know. Like, what are you guys working on? So I hope that you can comment down below and just tell me what you're working on. And remember, you can find me on Instagram, also under Sassy Fiber Arts. You can find me on TikTok, also under Sassy Fiber Arts. Notice a theme here. And I have a Facebook group with Sassy Fiber Arts, and we meet weekly on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern via video and just chat about what we're working on. It's a good group. It's fun. We support one another, and we love cheering each other on many different crafts that we do. There's crocheters, there's knitters, there's painters, there's cross stitchers. So it's kind of a wide variety of different types of fiber arts. So if you guys want to join, look for the group, and then we'll get you added to the chat where the video happens. And then, of course, here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great knitting day.